Our pivot just a bit now and turn our attention to breaking developments concerning Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who's apparently just realized what many of us concluded a long time ago. According to reports, the Democratic leader now says that once his current term ends at the end of the year, he's going to give up politics entirely and never run for an elected office ever again. Good job. In his exact and exasperated words, never again. Walz says that moving forward, no longer has any further political ambitions whatsoever, and that from here on in, just going to be keeping his nose to the grindstone, concentrate on the work at hand, and get the job done. Goes on to say there are plenty of other ways in which he can serve the people, that sooner or later he'll figure out what they are, and that in the meantime, old white guys like him who are former governors always somehow manage to land on their feet. Now, to refresh your memory, earlier this month, Walz ended his re-election campaign for a third term as governor, due in large part to public outcry over his administration's utter failure concerning Minnesota's widespread and massive welfare fraud scandal. At that time, he pledged to spend the rest of his tenure trying to fix the mess, which he himself allowed to happen. Happened on your watch, brother. Meanwhile, with nothing much left to lose, the governor is now apparently willing to spill the beans and share what's really kicking around in that bald noggin of his. Now outrageously claims that if he were ever to hold another political debate with Vice President J.D. Vance, he would drop his previous cordial tone entirely and easily beat the vice president to a pulp by pointing out all of the Trump administration's failures and lies. Who's this guy kidding? This guy couldn't beat an egg. Our final thought, here's the way we see it. We call this one the News Roundup Lowdown. Well, America, I hope you're happy now. Minnesota's disgraced governor says he'll never run for anything again, and he's sure gonna be missed by somebody, I suppose. Here's a guy whose state is being closely scrutinized for billions and billions of dollars worth of fraud, and now that he's made it perfectly clear he won't run for a third term as Minnesota's governor, kind of feels like the fraud train is running out of steam. That he claims he left the race with no regrets indicates to me that he's horribly irresponsible, delusional, and more important, I would say narcissistic. Hey, just a refresher, Walzy Cakes oversees a state riddled with enormous fraud, crime, illegal immigration, and more, and that has no regrets is kind of, I guess, regretful. How else can you say it? There's also this. You may recall that the Timmer was very carefully vetted by Kamala Harris and her camp to be her running mate in the last presidential election, and they both failed miserably. Finally, Wacky Walz makes the absurd claim that he could now somehow beat Vice President J.D. Vance in a debate, future President J.D. Vance. Hey, Mr. Walz, respectfully, you couldn't win a debate against a 9-year-old blindfolded schoolgirl. And clearly, J.D. Vance is way out of your league, as he proved last time you debated him, and you made a complete fool of yourself. Kind of like you're still doing to this very day. Hey, Bill Thomas here. If you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. And don't forget to check out our channel, News Roundup with Bill Thomas. And that's where you can catch our full program and more videos. And we'll see you right back here next time.